Live, how y'all doing? Y'all give me a minute. You know how I'm unprepared when I start. This is Kelly from Dozen Cats Terrets. I put it in the description. I put it in the chat. I pinned it to the chat. So you can't say you don't know what you don't see. So y'all make sure you go over, you visit, and you subscribe. We just came from her channel, actually. Her, Adrian, and I did some readings. We did some political readings over there, which are not typical. So for her channel. So tonight we're going to do some non-political, if you would please. So if you have a non-political question, if you put it in the chat, we'll start and we'll read. I'm going to write down the ones that I had in my brain piece because I'm not prepared all the time. So y'all know how it rolls over here. So say hi to Kelly, everybody.
Hi. I see Jacka from the House of Lenormand here, and Jen Lynn. I'm huge fans because I watch you guys with Johnny, and
she's in our chat all the time, so y'all should know who she is.
I love the kitty cats, and I think you guys are awesome. Thank you, everyone, for saying hi. Hi, Cat Mama Meow and Sunpress. I know some peeps in the chat. Yay.
And Trillium Tarot will be here one day too, there, Stephanie. And so we're gonna talk tarots when she gets here. Because she's catching up on me with the tarot decks. So she's got a bunch of them too. She just did a review of the Star Trek tarot, or a flip through and review, I suppose, of the Star Trek tarot. And I like the deck, and that little thing that itches and says, "Oh, you should get it because you don't have it." I'm like, no, I don't actually like Star Trek, but but it's impressive because it's not a pip deck to where they just animated the majors and then left the minors to fend for themselves. Right. Like there are 78 episodes of Star Trek, and so they have each card representing one episode. Wow. And so that was a lot of dedication and a lot of artwork they put into that. So it's actually a really nice deck too. So
I love that.
Yeah, that was nice.
Well, I've just started, as you know, Johnny, I started reading tarot in January of this year. So I don't have a huge collection, but I can't believe how many card decks I already have, and I just ordered another 3. I got a problem, friends. My name is Kelly, and I have a problem. No.
It's easy to do, though, because you see the artwork, and it's, that looks nice. Yeah. And that looks nice. And that looks nice. And the next thing you know, you have 248 and all up a bunch of, that looks nice. I just have a problem, period. Because mind you, like 8 of my decks are Rider-Waite decks. They're just different variations.
Right.
And so you don't need 8 of those, but of course you do. Maybe you don't need 10 fingers, but it's nice to have them all. So.
Right. It's an excellent way to look at it. I love it. I love it.
So again, if y'all have a question, put it in the chat and I will start and we'll read on it. But you got some announcements you want to make? Anything coming up?
Oh my gosh, I have all kinds of things going on. So anyone who knows me knows that I love having a channel and doing what I do. So I'm really annoying. I'm on all the time. It's hard to open up YouTube and not find me on the front page, really. That's what I like to tell myself. No, I'm coming on tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern time with Beneficial Tarot. We're going to do tea time with Ben, what I call chat and cards. So any question goes. At 9 p.m. I do my Achieving Wellness segment. It is something that I do once every 2 weeks where we talk about all manner of things that will help us to sort of fill up our toolbox to help us as we, travel through our healing journey or a spiritual journey. And I have my friend Indigo Jaguar Intuitive Arts joining, where we're going to talk about using the fall colors to boost our mood. And so we'll throw some cards in and have a discussion about that. And then Friday, we have Friday at the Fire Pit.
What time?
That's at 8. If you just want to chill out, people watch the fire. Every time it's different. It's a whole lot of fun. No, Jen, I don't.
I wondered that myself too, but I'm
Yeah.
like, no, I see one or two, maybe.
I have
thought.
three. I have
Three.
three. In total. There's 12 legs. That's how I would love to have a dozen cats, but I'd probably have to get a divorce. So, you know,
Yeah.
it's called a compromise.
Yeah. I mean, you could stay married, just have your own house. That's
Right? Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, it can be petty. Just no personal
Yes.
questions, please, because I don't want to put all your business out there on Front Street. But yes, it can be a petty question. We live in petty zone around here, so you go right ahead. But I do want to start. It may sound heavy because of the words that I'm going to use, but I want to see if we can simplify it somehow. What are the ingredients, maybe, for world peace? Like for things to not be so. And go check out our live stream. We just sort of did a similar question to about how we can protect our own energy in the midst of all the bad news that we constantly are inundated with.
Right.
So for things to not necessarily be like everything is calm and there is no war, there is no violence, to where though all of that comes down from 10 to at least 4. So what is it that needs to be happening? Is it like we all just need to collectively think good thoughts, or what needs to happen? What is Spirit's advice to sort of tamper down some of the negativity and the hostility in the world? It sounds like a tall order, but not necessarily. Because if you try, then
Terry, I see that Terry just wrote the question that you asked in the chat, and the way that she wrote it with world peas, I literally have a deck of cards that says that right on it. It'd be like a funny deck of cards, but it literally says world peas. I love that.
it's interesting.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. You know, there is a recipe that had peas in it. It was very weird. My brother tasted it. He said it tastes fantastic, though. We were in the grocery store, and you know how they have the little sample things. This is before COVID, though.
Right.
And she was making a thing. It was on a little postcard. Peas, cranberries, mayonnaise, and cashews. And she had them all in a thing, or it's cranberries or raisins, one of the two, all in a thing, and mix it up like a little salad or something. I'm like,
Yeah.
Just,
I love these kind of questions because it is so interesting what you get. You want me to go first, don't you? And I'm like, no,
right ahead. You're the guest.
you go first.
I get kind of the same message we just got with our last reading we did just a few minutes ago. There's the Four of Swords. It's kind of like the Temperance, that retreat, that take care of your own energy type thing. The Ten of Swords and the Six of Swords, to end the struggle, the constant slugging your way forward type of thing. It's not healthy for you or your relationships. The High Priestess, again, stand in truth, stand in your own truth type of thing. Six of Wands, the Eight of Pentacles, Ten of Pentacles, elevate the lineage. Know that you are all connected. I understand you look different, you're different colors, different texture, different this, different that. You're all still connected. Because when they put you in the ground, you become the same kind of energy. You're still connected. Before you got here, you were the same kind of energy. So that wheel of fortune, that circle of life, you're the same kind of energy. You just look different each time. So and in that card, all them different faces. So it's like, just if people would understand, you don't have to necessarily get along perfectly, because we're not. The sun and the stars have something to do with that, because I'm a Pisces and I'm a Scorpio and I'm a this, and I don't like that sign because they're always doing this and blah blah blah, whatever. I get it, but that don't mean you have to bomb a country. That don't mean you have to rob a liquor store. Just because you are Taurus does not mean you really need to be the bull in the china shop. So if we realize that we are actually connected, we would get along a lot better. Not perfectly, but a lot better.
Well, I don't know. I agree with everything that you said. I love what you said, and I think it's really interesting that I said no, you go first, because I literally feel like, so you got this is what we need to do to make this recipe work, and I've got this is what's going to happen if we get the recipe to work. So this is the Guardian Angel Messages Tarot that I'm using, which has lovely light and positive messages on it. So this is the Page of Fire, right? This is using our enthusiasm and motivating ourselves to want to change, want to make the recipe work for us, right? I got the Wheel of Fortune, literally beautiful card with all these lovely faces in it, right? Progress, change, moving forward. Johnny got the 10 of Pentacles. I got the 10 of Cups, right? It's all about love. It's about understanding that we are fortunate and that we are blessed, even at the toughest of times. It is surrounding ourselves with our family or like-minded people that make us feel like we matter and that we're heard and that we're understood and that we're loved. On the bottom of the deck, I've got the Knight of Earth. This is taking responsibility for ourselves and our actions, right? It's about organizing yourself in a way that makes sense to you, because you are responsible only really to yourself. Not like some of the people that are out there that I don't know how they sleep at night, you know, with some of the things that they're doing. So I think that this is like being responsible for your choices and your decisions. And if each of us take accountability and are responsible for our actions and our choices and our decisions, maybe collectively we can come together, because we wouldn't have so many differences. Or that might be wishful thinking on my part. I've got the Desert, which is thirst. I think we're all craving this unity, right? We're craving the love and the togetherness that we once felt, because it feels like it's so far away in the distance. I've got Archangel Raguel. I never say that right. Justice, harmony, and solutions, and I think that that's where we're headed. If we can come together, right? That is the goal. It's to bring justice, it's to bring harmony, and to find those solutions that create the justice and the harmony. And the last card I got was Distant Thunder, which is clear the air, right? Picking ourselves up, dusting ourselves off, and looking at the future as a possibility and an opportunity, instead of like, oh gosh, here we go again. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Because the mindset is very important.
Yeah.
That thing where you think, oh, this is never going to get better. It's only going to get worse. I mean, you manifest your thoughts, whether you think you do or not.
Yeah.
That thing that you're constantly worried about, you're drawing it closer and closer to you. And it's hard to constantly think about the positive thing, because the loud thing is usually the negative thing. And so it's not impossible, though. A good thing to do is always put something in the 3D, write it down.
Yeah. People don't often think about the positive, and we don't hear the positive. I mean, when someone passes, that's probably the only time that you hear positivity about a person. And then oftentimes you have people in the background saying, yeah, sure, they only said that because, they're gone, not because, if
she's such a lovely person. You called her a bitch 2 days ago. What you mean?
Exactly. Exactly. And we need to, I think that that's the responsible part, right? We need to be more responsible about what we're saying and what we're putting out in the universe.
Mhm. Yep.
Put out, you
Be
get back,
careful.
right?
Be careful of thy words, for they will come to pass. The
That's
pen
it.
has always been mightier than the sword. Always. Okay. So off topic, but weird again. Space and all of the things they want to send to the moon and the rockets and all this stuff. Will they ever bring any, like, ever is a long time, but go with the words. You form your own question if you have to. Will they ever bring anything back to improve human life on Earth?
I don't know. Sometimes I think they're just laughing at us, really.
It's like spending this money, fly to the moon to do what? I mean, exploration is important.
Yeah.
But are they ever going to bring anything back and says, here is the cure for sickle cell or something? Anything.
Right.
Other than Tang and moon rocks, can they bring anything back?
Absolutely, Joy. Absolutely. When was the last time you said something positive about yourself? Be kind to yourself too. I'm all about it.
I say that. Be careful of the words you say to you.
Yeah. I know that this goes against feng shui. One of my favorite things to do is I have a mirror that's beside sort of my front door. And every time I leave the house, I tell myself how awesome I am. Go have a great day. I love you. You look good. Beautiful smile, whatever. And when I come home, I congratulate myself on a job well done. I don't leave my house very often, which is a whole other story that we don't need to get into. But that's one of the reasons why that mirror is there to help me and to encourage myself. So I love that you said that, Joyce. Oh, these aren't great.
Eight of Swords, Four of Swords. That's no. There's a restriction. I mean, it's not. Okay. We don't at the present time. Keep that in mind too, because that's important to keep in the whole thing. At the present time, we don't have a way to go there, get out, go shopping, get back in, and come back.
Right.
So it's not like we can go to Mars physically as humans because the trip is too long and blah, 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 no air, no this. Takes 3 years. Takes 8 months to get there, but 3 years to come back because you got to wait for the alignment again because you don't steer rocket ships, you just point and blast. And so it's not easy to get out, pick up a bunch of stuff, put it on the rocket, and then come back. The moon is your closest thing right now because you have the actual moon. And then the Six of Swords is your closest backyard that you can go and explore in and possibly pick up something, put it in the ship, and come back. But as far as bringing something back to change human life, no.
Nope.
But this, I will say this too, because the tower is here. The tower is accidents and disasters. It's horrible to say, but that helps too because it perfects your system over time. And so you know what to do, what not to do, and how to get there more effectively, more efficiently, and hopefully cheaper. And so you can do more of them if they're cheaper. And so this helps. So in the future, it looks good because of what you're learning from now. But as far as bringing something back, Five of Pentacles, Five of Wands, no.
I feel like they're just watching and learning. I used the Deca character. We start out with blood. Then we have the jail cell. Then we have the weirdo. Then we have thyself. And on the bottom of the deck, if you will, we have the wrestling ring. And so I literally feel like I feel like they are observing us in a way that it's almost painful to them. That like, why are you all struggling? Like, why can you not figure this out? I feel like they don't know how to show us how not to continue this, exploring all four corners of the wrestling ring. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's super interesting. I like these questions. This is fun.
I do wonder, okay, let's ask this then. Is there something mankind is doing? Because there's too much of the negative. Is there something mankind is doing right now that Spirit is giving the applause and says, yes, absolutely, do more of that?
I love that question.
That at least gives us some encouragement to know we're not the worst creatures on earth.
I love that.
In the midst of snake, spiders, and mosquitoes, we're not the worst. Roaches, snakes, spiders, and mosquitoes. And the occasional Republican. We're not the worst creatures on earth.
That's a really good question. Eunice has a question there, Johnny. Excellent question.
I just read a post. That's so interesting that question pops up. I just read a post that said, in my life, I have needed a mechanic, I have needed a dentist, I have needed a cashier, I have needed a banker. I have never needed a basketball player. I've never needed a celebrity. It's like,
wow.
Anything right now. Anything right now that says, good job, you're not the worst.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. Gonna pull an oracle card just to put a pretty bow on it.
We're doing something, sure.
Oh yes, okay. Johnny's got the same cards. Because I'm like, what? What you talking about? I don't know. Okay. I feel like, okay. I wish I could start with my oracle cards. I've got the Hot Springs. I use the Deca character again. Oh my gosh, really? Package explodes at the Northeastern University in Boston. I hope that is everybody okay? I started with the Hot Springs. Then I have the Ferry. I have the Grim Reaper. I've got the Dust. And I've got the Watchdog. And I was like, what? It's very much like this to me, that.
Mm-hmm.
So then I pulled two oracle cards, and the first one I got is Owl Spirit Wisdom. And the second one I got was Delight. And I'm like, okay, I get it now. So we're in this Hot Springs, right? Because we create this mess for ourselves in terms of ignoring, global warming and trying to do something about the climate change. And I'm not talking about us. I'm talking about, the governments, the power that has the ability to make the change. We still believe We believe, we have good hearts, and we're kind people, and we still have faith, and we believe in all the things we're supposed to. But the negativity that we hear on a daily basis in terms of the news 24/7, as you were saying, Johnny, just like constantly going, hello, are you listening to all this crap? It feels like it's like a, can I swear? It's like a,
Go for it.
it's like a crap storm, right? It's just like, we don't even care, like just whatever. I feel like Spirit is watching over us really carefully and trying to guide us. And the message that I got here is, if we all tap into our wisdom, that we all have that inner knowing, right? We all know. And if we listen to our heart and allow that to navigate us, that we will find our happiness sort of again. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Johnny's like, sure it does. No.
Because what are we doing that doesn't make us the worst people on earth or worst creatures? It's not the most glowing of messages. I mean, mind you, we're not the worst creatures on earth. Human beings, this is our responsibility we're the shepherds of this garden.
Mm-hmm.
And so we keep the fires out. We make sure the animals don't all die at the same time. That's that, problem is, through the advancement of civilization, we have created a lot of problems. But
yeah,
there is, though, spiritually speaking, High Priestess and the Hierophant. Spirit is, I want to say impressed is the word, because the Six of Wands is here, with our spiritual advancement and our advancements together. Because believe it or not, the world is more united than it is divided. And
yes.
The way you know that is you can walk down the street and everybody you pass is not hitting you or punching you in the face or kicking you in the shin or something. We can walk past each other, and it may be that some of us just know the consequences of doing such a thing, but we can walk past each other, not say anything, and just keep moving. We have a civility about us, and so the progression is going good as far as civilization, believe it or not. Like I said before, the world looks like it is always getting worse when it is actually getting better. And here, your spiritual life is getting better too, because more people are accepting of things that are not smashed in between the front and the back cover of the Bible. And so more people are now more expanding their thoughts and their spirits and their processes, and realizing that, okay, this person's a prophet, this person's a psychic. They do the same thing. They call it different things. They get it from the same source. They're no different than I am, who call myself a tarot reader. So it's this whole division thing is breaking down little by little. We feel as though it's higher than it is, but it's really not. There's 249 people watching. 1 or 2 of y'all are hate watching, but that's okay. But the rest of y'all, we're all in this sort of together, and we understand on a different level. And that is a good thing for civilization. When you understand on a different level, you operate in a different level, and thus your results of that operation are on a different level. And so
I love that.
That was pulling teeth.
You didn't look like you were feeling any of that pain, so that was good. Well done.
Yeah.
Lisa says the way we love is beautiful, and I love that you put that in there, Lisa. That's beautiful. The way we love is beautiful.
Human beings are not the worst. You
heard it here first, folks. No.
It just seems like, because we're constantly, we're polluting the streams, and yes, we are. We are polluting the streams. Some of us are cleaning them up. And so let's balance the negative with the good. Or, no, let's balance the negative with the good news, but in our own personal lives, that balance does not need to be 50-50. We need like a 99-1. And this is the same thing I preached to myself and to others, and I still have to preach it to myself because I'm human, so I'm still learning. To not single out trolls like people from the chat and point out your comment and say you're the worst person on earth, block it and move on.
Yeah.
Because the one thing I didn't do is I didn't go through the chat and see all the positive comments and say something about that.
Right.
I saw the one negative one and then I zeroed in on it, and then I spent 15 minutes ranting about this one person who disrupted the whole flow of what we were trying to do. And so, like I said, yes, there are probably 2 people hate watching, and they may say something stupid, but that does not mean you need to give them that kind of energy. You know what the block button do, you know where it is, you know how it works, use it, and then keep it moving.
Yeah.
Because there's more people here that are positive than are negative, and that's the rest of the world too. We're not the worst. No, we're not the worst, chat. There's still snakes, spiders, mosquitoes, and Republicans. We're not the worst.
Well, that's a relief, isn't it? But we're not the worst.
Okay.
All
So, for our own spiritual growth right now, as a community, as a spiritual community, because we're a little different than people who are religious.
I'm not different. What are you talking about? No. He's all different.
Among the people who are religious or people who are more Hierophant minded to where it's harder to change because you've been stuck in it for so long. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just, we can become conditioned to certain things. And so it's hard to break down the wall. And so as people who are less religious, who are more spiritual, what advice can Spirit give us is our relationships with more Hierophant-minded people? What can they tell us about dealing with those who are stuck in their way? Or I don't want to say stuck in their way because it sounds like I'm calling them a name or pointing a finger.
Right.
Who are more conditioned in their thinking.
Right.
Because I don't want to make them sound like the worst people.
No.
They just think differently than we do. And our point of view is if you just expand it some, you would see that the world is different from the front cover of the Bible to the back cover of the Bible or the Quran or the Torah or whoever. Just
how can we merge this together?
How can we get along a little better? Because this alone is a whole topic of conversation. And then their religious book that they read every Sunday is something that's more of an affront to me because of what's in it. And so it's like, but that doesn't mean we need to throw stones. So what can we do to sort of bridge the gap?
There you go. Bridging the gap. How do we bridge the gap? I just wait for Terry to pop up the question that you were trying to get to in the chat.
Because I'm trying to be diplomatic. I don't want to religious nutcases that didn't. No, I don't want to do that. But so that's not fair. I save my judgment for the political people because they deserve it.
Right. That's an interesting card. Uh-oh.
Okay.
Well, what am I supposed to do with these? No.
I get that. Okay. I mean, okay. This is probably personal. That's why. There is no need to necessarily reprogram someone who is religious. Because being religious, my sister's religious. So, but that does not make her a bad person. She's also religious, but not completely judgmental of every and anybody. Now, she's judgmental of this because it's not something she understands because they told her it was witchcraft. So, condition. Got it. There's no need to try to rip that from somebody because that doesn't stop me from using it and it doesn't stop us from getting along. And so with the high priestess and the king of swords, the high priestess is spirituality and the things that you know on the inside. Your king of swords is your logic. You sometimes can't marry the two. Sometimes somebody is going to look at what I'm doing and saying you're holding up, Pokemon cards talking about the future. So it looks crazy to me too, but they don't need to say that to try to take it from me. And I don't need to go try to rip somebody else's stuff from them. There's a conversation that needs to be had here with the Eight of Wands, but it does not necessarily need to be about that. It can just be about progression. Knight of Wands, moving forward. The Strength card is not force. The Strength is meekness and gentility. This is how she forces the mouth, not forces, but how she closes the mouth of the lion. She doesn't do it with vice grips. She does it with diplomacy, saying, you don't need to be that loud. Let's bring it down. Shh. And so there is a aspect of just talk about something that you both agree on and realize that you're in different spaces, different places, spiritually speaking. You don't need to rip it from them because they don't need to try to rip yours from you. Now, once that starts happening, then you're presented with a different problem because then your progression is not happening and you're going backwards. But if we can stop burning people at the stake, whether they were Christian or pagan, they did to both. So just stop persecuting people for what they believe, unless what they believe is harmful to you and others, and then keep it moving. I don't like that answer, though.
So interesting. I love that, what you just got. I really, really do. Because what you said, what the card said, what you said, is really the truth. We just have to learn to get along again. We have to remember how to get along. And it is really a responsibility that we carry as human beings to treat each other with a certain degree of, you're a person and I'm a person. Okay, check, we're equal. You know what I mean? I start off with the Four of Cups. Feeling a little bit stuck. We don't know what to do. We're feeling a bit bored with the whole thing, really. It's like just, when you just whatever, I just don't even care anymore. Like, I sort of feel like that's it. Like, I feel like a lot of people are stuck in reverse. They're stuck in the past. Like, remember when things were so much simpler? Remember, back in this decade that, things were so much easier. Remember in this decade when we could do this and we could, you know what I mean? There's a whole lot of living back there. There's a whole lot of living back there. We need to walk away from that. We need to let the past go because we are forgetting to experience the joy in the moment that we're in. And because we are so focused on that one detail, not that there's only one detail, please don't misunderstand, that one negative thing that we heard that day, or the one negative thing that we saw that day, and because the news is throwing the negatives at us, we're taking all that in and forgetting to live in that present moment. Right? If you live in the present moment, your joy is brought to the surface so that you can experience it. We have the Ace of Wands, new ideas, inspirations. And on the bottom of the deck, I've got the Knight of Swords. Go after your dreams. Go get it. Right? Don't let anyone stand in your way. Literally don't let anyone steal your power. Right? That's what we've got to do. We've got to stay focused, hold the course. I am so hot right now. It's not even funny. I'm like on fire. Stay focused. Hold the course. We've got to hold the course.
These are personal ratings. I'm
Yeah,
I'm
you
sure.
think? And thank you, Kelly, for reading for yourself. That was fabulous.
That's what that was.
Hey, but at least we called it. We said it.
Yeah.
Well, you said it for us. So, but I mean, you know what? It's our story is not that different from anyone else's story, right?
Mhm.
We all have things that we're trying to let go of. We all have things that we're trying to leave behind us. We're all trying to navigate through some sort of a pain or a past trauma or a healing process. It happens to everyone. We're all in that same space at one point or another, right?
Mhm. Mm, Where's my mouse? Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all be sure you subscribe to
Well,
Kelly's
thank you,
channel.
Johnny. You're very kind.
We just, as I said, me, Adrian, and Kelly, actually grammatically, Kelly, Adrian, and I just left her channel 40 minutes ago and did a live stream over there. We talked about y'all's president. Well, I shouldn't say that because it ain't y'all's president. Somebody's president meeting at his golf course with all his friends, and then nobody have no golf clubs in sight. So y'all go check that out.
Yeah.
That's
They were looking for something,
a mess.
playing the party or something. I'm not sure what they were doing. Checking their passports. Probably checking their passports.
Okay, let's do one more. Unless somebody has a question in the chat, we'll do one more. What does Spirit want us to know right now? The message for the collective. It was on Kelly's channel. And the link I just put up in the thing. And it's tied to the top too. Oh, wait, I did start a comment. Oh, we didn't do this one. I'm so sorry. We didn't do that one. Let's do that one first. Whoever stop over worshiping, only the celebrities. Over worshiping. Worshiping only the celebrities. Holy so.
Well, I don't even what is that all about?
They become important to us personally, and then the idol thing starts to happen. Fan is short for fanatic, and so become a little too attached, I guess.
I just love Harry Styles. I mean, he's really the only celebrity I'm attached to. I'm kidding. Well, I'm not really kidding that much, if I was being honest. I'm not gonna lie. I've thrown some tarot cards to find out if One Direction's getting back together again. You gotta have questions, right? You have to have questions for your tarot cards. I mean, that's how
I liked. I used to like, following celebrities to see what they did and all that type of stuff. Until I had seen one too many interviews that changed my perception of who the person was.
Right.
And then it's like, okay, this was a bad idea.
Yeah.
So, very bad idea.
I mean,
so I just stopped watching.
I've seen some of your shows, Johnny. When you're throwing some cards on Wendy Williams and stuff. I see.
And see, I've never liked her. She's just interesting to read on because she's got a lot of up and down. Thank you, Cold Toes.
Thank you, Cold Toes. How you doing, love? I know Cold Toes. All right.
Like the person I see that I will click on instantly, no matter what, is Neil deGrasse Tyson. That's like the only person that, no matter where he is, I'll click on it and watch it. And he's a scientist / celebrity because he's ubiquitous. He's everywhere. So
love it.
Okay, but will we ever stop the worship of celebrity?
No.
Give it a chance to say yes.
Cold Toast, I didn't know I was going to be here either. Thank you.
No, this was very last minute. I said, "Hey, what do you do?" Because we finished her live stream. I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "Nothing." I said, "Well, come over to mine too."
I mean, can you believe it all? Seriously, I'm sitting here next to Johnny Tyrrell's Apprentice on Tyrrell's Apprentice, slightly freaking out.
What's TBR, Becca Lenormand? Or is that something we just have to read on blindly? Can you say what TBR is?
What?
Oh no! Well, you know what? Let me not be negative. We'll see. We'll I'm gonna say no anyway, but
Will we ever overall stop?
will we ever stop what you get?
I don't know what this means. I've got the Six of Wands. I feel like, you know, the concept of needing to be seen, right? The concept of that focus and that need that we have within us is what makes us watch them. I've got the Four of Earth, or the Four of Pentacles. They're interesting cards. So the control, right? Literally on this card, don't correct me, Johnny, but I'm sure you will. I'm joking, by the way. We've got extravagance and frugalness, which is and then control is what's written on this card. And I sort of feel like it's that for us, right? When we look at a celebrity, we think that we want what they have because we want their money, because we think it means something that it doesn't mean to them. We think if we only had that, then our life would be so much better, so much easier. Does that make sense? I've got the Two of Earth, which is all about balance and prioritization. And then on the bottom of the deck, I've got the Ace of Earth, which is about adjustments. And I feel like the thing with this is to understand that old analogy, money doesn't buy you happiness. Those celebrities that seem to have it all, like we talked about earlier, you know, Prince Charles was signing a document today, 2 days after his mother passed away. And because the pen exploded and the ink went all over his hands, somebody decided that the world needed to see that 52-second clip and put it all over the internet. And now he's being shunned for it because the pen exploded and he wasn't happy. So, you know, because in that moment we forgot that he's not just the king. He's a person who just lost his mom.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that what this is that if we recognize them, celebrities are just people, that would help us to get over it. But there's something about the spotlight that attracts us.
Yep, that's what I think. I think with the Six of Pentacles and the Lover's card. Now, mind you, let me be a little fair, I guess. I don't know, fair or devil's advocate or what. They want to make an appearance.
It's because it's like he knew in the chat they were saying kittens. I want to say hello to me. Come on, bud. Come. Okay, sorry, Johnny. Go ahead.
There is okay, I can't say they don't give people anything. Like, for instance, everybody on Earth that I know anyway has a song that does that thing. It either makes you excited, or it makes you nostalgic, or it makes you sad, or it makes you happy, or it reminds you of something. That person, yes, it's the song that does it, but that person, that voice, those lyrics all together created an emotion that you wanted or desired or needed or whatever. And so then you have this situation to where that person now becomes more than just human. And as it has been quoted, when you become more than a person, you become less than a person. Because at the same time, you're no longer human, you have to be perfect. Because if I see a clip of Felicia Rashad, who has been, Claire Huxtable, she has that image, or you see a Michelle Obama and they're in the grocery store going off, you think, oh my God, that now they're the worst person in the world because they could control themselves, instead of, oh, they're human and had a human time, especially during retrograde.
Yeah.
So it's when you become more than a person, you become less than a person, because now you can't be human anymore. You're an idol. And so will we ever stop? No. Because people will always mean something to us, especially when they do something collectively. So no. All right, we got. We'll do the collective message next. I want to be petty and do Becca's question too. Will she ever finish her to be read list? Now, the House of Lenormand.
Oh yes, her book list. Yep.
Has a book list like I have tarot cards. And so she reads one book and then adds 4 more, and then reads one book and adds 4 more. And so now I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because ain't nothing wrong with reading. But she has a list that does not shrink. It just continues to grow. Will she ever finish it?
So is it the fact that you have that the list keeps growing that's bothering you?
It's because she's controlling. She just won't admit it to you.
Because I agree with Johnny. I think it's lovely that you have a passion for books. Knowledge is power.
Because I live vicariously through that, because I hate reading, because my mind starts wandering the moment I start reading stuff. And so I like when other people can read books and they love it, and it's like, oh, this book is so great, and this happened. You can spoil it for me because I ain't going to read it. So, okay, you go right ahead.
Right.
Will you ever finish? 2 of Wands, there's plans. 4 of Wands is completion. 2 of Wands is plans. 4 of Wands is completion. How and ever. The Ace of Pentacles, there's a new opportunity, which means down 1, up 1. So will you finish? I'll say yes to give you some encouragement, but the answer is no. Because there's your plans for completion, but there's your balance, and then an opportunity presents itself, because what's going to happen is Barnes & Noble is going to have a buy 3 get 15 free, and you're going to go down there and it's like, okay.
Oh my God, Johnny, that's
how it works. Ain't nothing wrong with that. There's worse things to buy.
I love that. I just love that. I've got the Knight of Fire, so being confident about your list and about the whole reason why you developed the playlist of books, shall we call it, right? I've got the 9 of Fire. I feel like you're trying to resist, trying to put up boundaries to protect yourself from said list, right? So that you don't overspend or whatever, or fill up the shelves. I've got the 4 of Fire. Like, it makes you happy. Not maybe buying the books, but the books, having the books around you. There's something about the smell of books and being able to flip through an actual page as opposed to an app. But this is it's causing you some stress. Like, it's literally stressing you out that you cannot get through this list. And so, not to make this about me, I have anxiety, panic disorder, and depression, and I have had to work very hard to realign my thinking sometimes. And so, if this were my problem, and in terms of I had issue with whatever I was doing, this is what I would say to myself: well, I'll just stop writing down the names of the book, and then I don't have to look at the list, and it's not going to bug me. I mean, honestly, that's what I do, because I think it's lovely that you have that list, right?
Her problem is it's in her device, and they're all listed there.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Or there's a bookshelf and it's got 88 books on it too.
Right.
Buy the books. I mean, there are worse things you can buy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, you could have 1,400 Lenormand decks like I got tarot decks.
True that.
Okay, reading for the collective.
Lenormand
Collective
deck.
energy. Collective energy.
What's the? Oh yes, collective energy. Oh, I'm gonna get a different
Oh,
card.
well, this flipped out. I'll
Quincy,
leave it.
hold on. Cat's like literally trying to balance on a chair he's got like a 2-inch kind of thing, and I'm afraid if I move too much, I'm gonna throw him off. The things we do for our cats, my friend.
Mhm.
Oh, I can't reach the cards.
I seen a cat jump out of a 3-story window. It'll be all right. We'll land on their feet.
Thump. I don't want the thump to happen. That's all. Then I'll feel bad. No.
I like black cats.
This guy has no. It's like he has no bones. He's like total cartilage. That's all he's got. He's like so squishy. He just sort of conforms to whatever space.
He's a fleshy doll.
Do you need a cat, John?
There you go.
You can
No.
move to your house.
Mm-mm. We have someone deathly allergic.
I'm
See,
allergic.
Pat writes books. Becca, get one from Pat and read that book too.
There you go. Somebody said you were handsome.
Wait a minute. What the hell's going on in this card?
How do you feel? Look. Woohoo, I'm handsome. Look at look at me. Look at me. Now he feels like a celebrity. No, I have 3, Joe. All right. Well, I can't read all those, Spirit, really.
It's anxious to talk.
Right? What you get, Johnny?
Well, the star flipped out, so I think that's to me, it's the most positive card in the tarot, even more so positive than the sun. The sun is happiness and contentment and joy, and everything is going good. But what I always say is, in the sun, everything is going good. The star is everything is improving, and that's what you need when you're down in the valley. Is I need everything to get better. And so this is why it's the most positive thing, because this is your reminder that there's something above you that's still looking out for you. And so just keep in mind, especially here in the retros, everything is retrograde. Keep in mind that something above you, something more powerful, something more ancient, something more benevolent, something more beloved is looking out for you. At the very least, it walks beside you. If you fall, can get back up. You'll be all right. You shall make it through. If you don't believe me now, because yeah, I get it. Things look rough sometimes when you're in the middle of the tornado. You can't see nothing else. If you don't believe me, look back on the history of your life and see the things that you have survived and say, yes, I can make this one too. That's what I
Well
get.
said, my friend. Well said. I pulled from the postcards from Spirit.
Like, I've never seen those cards either.
Oh, look, they're beautiful. It's a lot of reading. Dearest you, a rigid tree branch breaks under strong winds, yet flexible seaweed survives powerful ocean swells. Right now, we gently remind you that being flexible is a good choice when faced with life's challenges. Surrender your fixed ideas to Spirit, who knows what it is in your highest good and can deliver to you what you need in the appropriate form. In this moment, rather than fighting or being too sure of your way working out, be a little looser and allow for another outcome. Compromise can be the best way forward if you are to learn new ways of doing and seeing. Stay aware, stay curious, and stay teachable. Take life on life's terms. Your purpose may push you in a direction not on your map, but let it. Be so flexible that no storm can uproot you. In the end, you will still be rooted in the world, in abundance, and you will indeed experience the beauty that is yours. We love you so much.
Amen. Be teachable. We just talked about that on your live stream. Be teachable. So thank you, Kelly, for coming
Thank
to hang out with me and the crew. And what is tomorrow? Tomorrow is another
Tomorrow's
day.
Wednesday. Hump day.
Wednesday. Are you live tomorrow? You said
Yep.
what
I'm
time?
going live twice, 2 p.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern.
2 p.m., 9 p.m. Okay, so she'll be live 2 p.m., 9 p.m. We'll be back here at 5-ish p.m. And I will see y'all tomorrow. And Kelly will too. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.